Okay, Tim Hallmark here, sports performance and fitness trainer of 43 years, still doing it, still loving it. Today I'm going to talk about the I.S.P, the individual specific movement pathway, in reference to the center force hitter. The center force hitter is my rotational device. You develop athletic strength, hip rotation speed, and balance by using the center force hitter. Now, what I realized after many people use the center force hitter was that each person's results have been great. Every person's gotten significant improvement in their biomechanical movement, whether it's boxing, baseball, golf, softball, whatever it is, whether it's throwing a baseball, hitting a baseball, pitching a baseball, hitting a softball, throwing a punch, kicking, hitting a tennis ball, whatever it is. There's always been significant good improvement in that biomechanical movement. But what I learned through this is that each athlete, even in the exact same biomechanics, two guys throwing a right hand, two guys hitting a baseball, two girls or guys hitting a golf ball, whatever the sport is, whatever the biomechanical movement is nobody's doing the exact same movement. We do a lot of coaching and a lot of training to try to duplicate so-and-so's biomechanics because they're great. They hit home runs. They knock it down the fairway. Whatever the course, they knock people out. Whatever it is. Duplicating those fundamentals is what we should be doing, and what we are doing. But then after the fundamentals are established, which all decent athletes have, then we want to go to the next level, which is what I have called the individual specific movement pathway. That's a level that puts your body in its most efficient way to move through space. When you start tapping into your I.S.P, you are tapping into your body's ability not to leak energy, to generate as much force as your biomechanics can, which has really nothing to do with size. There's little guys that are knocking the heck out of the ball, driving the ball a long way. There are little guys that are knocking people out, not because they're big, but because they generate a lot of force and they don't leak that energy. So what's happening during center force training is it's homing in on, if you will. It's helping your body figure out the most efficient way to move through space in that biomechanical movement. And the greatest athletes out there, that's what they've tapped into, is their I.S.P. Not trying to do it just like somebody else that's good or somebody else that's great. Because depending on the length of your levers, from your elbow to your shoulder, your hip to your knee, how much you weigh, all of those types of things, or how you hold your hands, whatever the case may be, we're doing things a little bit differently in each situation. So, center force training with over 30 feet of cord, with it being hooked to with a perfect angle of resistance from the ground up and parallel resistance at the same time, to the hips, where you connect the lower half to the upper half, is where center force training actually is teaching the body, a more efficient way to move through space, a more dynamic way to move through space, a more powerful way to move through space, a more balanced way to move through space. And that's what I learned years ago, was as my athletes started to improve for doing different drills, using the symmetrical, using the center force, using the ab angles way back in the day, using my speed sling for movement with your arms in any type of court or field sport. I started realizing as they got better doing those drills, they made it look easier. And that was because their balance had improved. So center force training is accentuating the efficiency of moving through space That's why they start looking as if they're not trying as hard. That's because their balance is improved. So definitely, there's things that we teach our athletes, the great hitting coaches, the great trainers, as far as how to move, basic fundamentals. But there's a place and time to where the verbal teaching of a biomechanical movement does no more good. There's a place an athlete gets to where for them to go to the next level, they need a stimuli, they need a challenge, something that will challenge the body as it moves through space. Not something you do in the weight room, not something that just happens because we're going to hit more balls. Joe's great. He hits 100 balls a day, so we're going to hit 150 balls a day, and so we're going to do better than Joe. No. It's about the body being challenged and then the body figuring out through moving through space with the right type of resistance, which is center force resistance, how to do a better job of it. So, center force training addresses an individual specific movement through space. And as they do that, they leak less energy and develop more power, more force, better balance, and significant improvement in that movement. It's crazy to think about, but the center force can actually teach a body how to move better. Thank you.